Hello, Tim Gavel here from the Region Media Group down here at the MIT Ballpark, home of the Canberra Cavalry. Now, sports have had to be inventive in Canberra to keep their seasons afloat. Of course, COVID has created havoc right across Australia with national competitions. It meant the National Baseball League, of course, isn't going ahead at the moment, so the Canberra Cavalry have been forced to be inventive. They've established a series home and away with Sydney and also Brisbane. This weekend here in Canberra, they're taking on Brisbane. Sunny Singh is the General Manager of the Canberra Cavalry, and he's alongside me. Sunny, quite obviously you've had to be, I guess, to a certain degree, just manoeuvrable to try and keep the season alive.
Yeah, look, that's been the narrative of the last 2 years, it almost feels like now. So, look, it's no different in any sport. We've had to be flexible to make sure we get something off the ground, but, you know, a bit of hard work and sweat and we've got something going.
Because, of course, last season in the Australian Baseball League it was called off. You couldn't really handle 2 seasons called off. It was really important to get it going.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it was borderline traumatic last year having to deal with the complexities that COVID posed, but, you know, we got through it. We learnt a lot of lessons and that's given us a lot of, I guess, scope to how to plan for a COVID-impacted season, and that's why the last couple of weeks have gone off pretty much without a hitch.
Could you have handled another season cancelled? And I'm not talking just about the organisation, but the players, you know, keeping them interested in playing baseball in Canberra.
Look, I think we all aged a couple of years last year going through the season that we did, but look, I think everyone's kind of become used to it now that there's going to be need for flexibility on all parts, not just from a club perspective, but from a fans and players perspective as well, just to make sure we get something going. So everybody's been really positive and flexible to make sure it happens.
How dire would it have been had you not been able to do this then?
Oh, look, apart from, you know, just this being my livelihood, you know, for the players, the fans, this is what summer's about and this is what sport's about. It gives them, you know, their livelihoods during the summer, and when you take that away, it leaves a bit of a gap. And that's speaking from not just a personal perspective, but from opinions I hear around the ballpark as well.
Now, you're playing Brisbane this weekend and then you're away to Sydney, and that's effectively the season for you. Have you been surprised with the response so far from people coming out here watching baseball? No, of course the Australian Baseball League season's not on, but you've managed to establish this secondary season. Yeah,
look, it was really important for us to get something going this summer. As I said, you know, a year off without baseball or without sport can be hard to come back from. Momentum's a big thing. So seeing 800 people out here last Friday night against the Blue Sox was fantastic. A lot of familiar faces and quite positively a lot of new faces as well. So I'm looking forward to another big crowd this weekend against Brisbane.
Just on another sport you're involved in, you're the CEO of the Canberra Brave ice hockey team. Of course, they've had a couple of disrupted seasons in a row. Confident that in the lead up to the next winter season that you'll have a season of the Australian Ice Hockey League? Yeah,
I do. I've got every confidence that we're going to get something going, and I think it's going to look fairly normal this season. So, you know, everything's indicating that we're moving in the right direction. It's just locking things down like the schedule and that a couple of months out.
That's great. Just as a final question, financially, how big an impact is it, you know, 2 COVID-interrupted seasons for, you know, second-tier sports such as baseball and ice hockey? It must hurt a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we rely on a lot of our corporate dollar and fans coming through the gates, and when you've got to do things like cancel games or reschedule them, you know, that starts to throw a few spanners in the works. And that's, like you said, it doesn't discriminate to just our club. It's across every club that's kind of in that tier 2 category. So, you know, it's just hopeful that you see every Canberra sporting side out there come out the other end.
Good on you, Sonny. All the best here. So it's Friday, Saturday night out here at the MIT Ballpark with the Canberra Cavalry going up against Brisbane, and the following weekend, Canberra's away to Sydney. This is Tim Gavel for Region Media out here at the MIT Ballpark.